And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. This is going to be the last planned stream before I go to help people with moving. So we're going to record 4 parts during this stream of Songs of Six, and we'll see where we are at the end of those 4 parts. If we're doing pretty well, we'll probably be back to playing this after I get back from that trip, but we'll see. In Songs of Six here, first of all, right now we got a decent amount of access. We've got some titles that are buffing happiness, which is making it a little easier to keep the city growing than it would otherwise be. We've got 160 points of knowledge to spend. Last time we checked up on the viability for going for temples, and then realized we would need jewelry for that specifically. And I worked out that I decided I didn't really want to do that right away. I think that's still going to hold the same here for this stream. Other than that, that means we're looking at improving services. So more hospitals, and in the case of hospitals, it is more hospitals. A lot of the other ones, it's upgrades. We could technically run to barbers. So barbers are a potential. We could run to massage parlors. Massage parlors are worthless for our primary. Could run for Grand Arena. We could run for Bathhouse. So Bathhouse is a new one. We could run, although the coal stockpile doesn't look super good for that, so we might want to hold off there. I think we're mainly looking at probably doing upgrades. Right. So if we pop into the tech tree, we've got a couple of different options. Right? Go down to Grooming, which would give us markets on the way. Could pick up the next entertainment. Could go for improved torches and benches. Could go for improved hearth. Could go for improved speakers. As I said, we could go for the bathhouses, although I'm a little leery on that due to the lack of coal. And in theory, we're not far off, hypothetically, for going for wells, but we don't have the machinery. So we don't want to do that one. Don't want to do that one. That's an option. That's an option. That's an option. Notably, that's going to take us through second floors. That would actually be the argument against that, is maybe we don't want to spend on the second floors right now. Especially if we're thinking of going like something grooming. We don't have enough to pick up Grand Arena. I have enough to pick up fancy fighting pits. We take a look at what the fancy fighting pits are going to cost before we jump to them. So this is a fighting pit. Fighting pits have pretty large catchment areas. Although maybe we may need another fighting pit over there. And if we have Dondorians holding up there, we probably want another fighting pit over there. So we might actually need another fighting pit or 2. But large catching areas, and the upgrade here is... Okay, swords and cut stones. We have both of those. And I think one of the titles is have your people benefit from fancy fighting pits, the final architecture, and the final high entertainment bonuses all at the same time. Although that's a little outside of our reach right now. Improving the markets makes reasonable sense. Everyone's got to go to the markets for their clothing, right? As long as we've got enough throughput that people are going to them reliably, that's a good hypothetical choice. That's furniture, pots, and cut stone. We are positive on furniture, although not by very many. We are positive on pottery, although not very many. And we're really positive on cut stone right now. Partially because we were thinking about we're doing a bunch of road replacements, which would be cut stone. And then that would be grooving behind it, which I don't think would be a terrible idea. It would significantly reduce our need to expand fiber going forward if we want to make more cloth or clothing. And we have 160, so that would be... Oh, I have taverns. Have I built the taverns? That's a good question. Distribution tavern. Let's actually check first before we get too carried away. Don't. We'll probably build our taverns first. I presumably have some because we have an access of 3 on them. maybe don't have enough... I don't have adequate delivery of... Yeah, we don't have adequate delivery of drinks to them. That's what's going on. So the drinks aren't being delivered there. Which is maybe an argument towards getting more drink. Although, again, I think we'll hold off on that. So yeah, it's 120 down there. Leaves us with another 40, so we can pick up fine entertainment. Or we can go for fancy lights and fancy benches with housing, which would be 155. So if memory serves, I think not the benches, but the torches give us law. That'll help to improve law as well. And torches, or benches, we've got enough of throughout the city that the bench, just upgrading it would double this effectively. Right? We go from 47% upgrade, 71% access to 71% access, and let's say 100% upgrade. Right, so that would be a big buff there. Although that would be, let's say it's doubling the fulfillment, so it's another 0.41. So we're thinking benches, getting the torch upgrade, which would be almost another half. Yeah, as much as I'm thinking it was interesting maybe going that way, that's only like 1 fulfillment. That probably makes more sense if we've already gone down for the fine speech and the luxurious hearth. Yeah, I'm thinking markets, grooming, probably stage. Stage might actually be the one we want to do first. Yeah, I'm leaning towards stage. More stone, more more wood, more cut stone, and furniture. Furniture is the thing we're the lowest on, so we probably want to be expanding to build more furniture next. I may actually want to move where we're making the furniture, or start making furniture in a different spot in addition, right? Because we've got 3 furniture makers. Oh, we've already put one down here. Oh, new. That one's new, but I think we still want more. Still want more. Yeah. Probably put more lumber up here. Okay. And then we got a little bit of... Oh, there's the fridge in there. So we want to probably use that for something. Till's probably fine to keep. Infertile's pretty worthless. So... Although I'm maybe still tempted to build on top of this till. Just so we have closer proximity to the forest where we're going to chop and stuff down. So yeah, let's before I get rambling too much, we're already 8 minutes into the episode, and we haven't unpaused. So yeah, I think we're going to go for these service upgrades, because service-wise, we can click on here, services to check. Right, so the barber, if we fully supply it, is 0.75. So the barber is pretty weak for Dondorians. We do have some Amivians. So we would get some leather coming in. I doubt we'd be getting enough in that we can necessarily run the libraries off of them. Although we might get enough in that we can run the leather armor production off of them. Leather armor we're not currently making, but we'll need for improved guard posts. So there's an argument there. So yeah, 0.75. That's a definitely good thing to do. Improving the speaker, probably going to be about in the 0.75 range because we're going to triple the upgrade number. And then the marketplace improvement. Marketplace is probably actually the biggest one. The marketplace is going to be like 1.25, if I were to guess, doing the math there. So yeah, I think we're going to do those 3, and then we'll think about expanding knowledge. So we'll do click that. And that. And then our task, self-imposed task, is going to be trying to get those built. Let's start on the stages. And they're waiting for furniture. So let's unpause the time and go through all those stages. Do I need furniture for the marketplace upgrade? Yes. And then the barber, I think, is probably going to need some furniture. Yeah, furniture cut stone, and tools. Okay, the daily furniture is pretty low, so the next thing we probably want to do is bring in more workers to work, more carpenters. I think it's time to effectively move this mass grave. Probably make use of the infertile over here for the mass grave replacement. Oops. Wanted to make another. Wait, we'll make this one fairly large. Sort of tile over the infertile patch there. 140 graves. That way we can put a housing block there, and then build another carpenter in the space. How's the fish stockpile looking? Theory going up 200 a day, so we're losing 100 decay, so that's fine. That's stable. Rations are going down, but technically we're importing rations, so we're exporting this stuff to import rations. So we're stable on food. And then I will go ahead and smart remove you. That's mostly done, so let's do a copy area. Copy another one of you. Oh, I have one of those unclaimed rock clearing jobs. We hadn't activated earlier. When I was in planning and didn't have a... I was in planning and did a bunch of rock claiming jobs that we didn't actually complete. And then yeah, we know we want another carpenter. Probably like that size. Pop you there. That's going to require another 40 laborers, which is why we're making space for like another 60 in the area. So we can bring in more people to work the new job, and then we're going to need more working the timber industry the other side of the river. And yeah, we're just going to keep improving services as we go. Every next step in pursuit of the next service. We'll check on the Empire a little bit. So I think everyone in the Empire is happy. So you're happy, you're happy, you're happy, you're happy, you're happy. Reasonably close to actually getting to 600, although I would need to pick up a tech for that. So I think we want to be done picking up new services in the capital first. And then you're reasonably happy. And all these guys are running taxes. These guys are pretty grumpy. We may be on the lookout for trying to start something with them. But we need to wait until the current peace treaty is pretty old. Oh, it's still a little too fresh. And there's no other easy targets besides them, but that a little bit of trespassing. So for the short period, our military expansion is static. We're waiting for the army, or waiting for the garrison of the capital to recover. As well. Oh, the garrison of the capital was attacked, was destroyed by an event, effectively. It was an event raid. Highly priced. Okay, well, we're not selling it, so that's fine. And we're not buying it either, which is also very valuable. Okay, so we have that housing for another 60 people. Let's bring them in. That'll help with more construction. Also help us with doing the lumber yard upgrade once we're done with the construction of the carpenter here. Might also do a fell trees job. Just because the lumber is a little low. Anyhow, so we're at negative 30, but that's mostly maintenance. Eventually we're going to want to transition over to using stone or cut stone for buildings. I'm going to prioritize probably stoning, making the road stone over making the buildings stone. It can be a little bit tedious sometimes trying to replace old wooden buildings with new stone or grandstone buildings. And it's because it can be tedious replacing the stone or grandstone buildings, I am very tempted to skip stone and go straight to grandstone, which the Dondorians and the humans prefer over wood. The Amivians would prefer mud, and I think they actually probably prefer stone over wood. That's actually a good question. Where's your building preference? Oh, that's the right preference. Building preference. So they prefer mud. Oh yeah, so they prefer grandstone. So if we're going anything but mud, we want it to be grandstone. Because that's going to be the preference for these three. The Crotonians are just going to have to get bent because we're not going to stick to wooden buildings. They like the wooden buildings, but we're not going to stick to wooden buildings. Although, maybe thematically we might keep the wood in the brewery area where we've got the Crotonians. We're not running a lot of Crotonians. Oh, something happened to you, got lawless. Happy. Oh, we had some wrongful deaths from the accident. The Dondorians don't like wrongful deaths. And then the Amivians... I think the Amivians were the ones who died. So we're waiting for the migration to replace them, so that's what the snow up arrows. Okay, carpenter is complete. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add more lumber jobs. We want to ideally make like 200 more lumber. And again, that probably wants to be this forest over here. Oops. Apparently I can grab coastal areas. Don't actually want the coastal area down there, and I don't want the coastal area up here. I want to save that for fishing later. Probably want to slither along the coast. Sliver along the coast here. Where the fishermen can take it for their stuff. Yeah, thinking about making that. That's another 60 workers. That might arguably be more than I really want making lumber. Although, 190-something production, we're looking for 219. Although that's 190 with no utilities. So, I should go a little smaller than that. Right, 200. Okay, yeah, so definitely go a little bit smaller. So that's where we're going to take it up to the fishery there. Let's pull back on the northern portion. That's probably an overcorrection. Yeah, that's an overcorrection. I want it bigger than that. There we go. 35 workers. We're currently short a few workers. We'd want a little bit more than that. Odd jobbers, but I think we can bring the people in to work that. That'll work. So let's attack that as a yes. Let it unpause. Anyway, we have enough housing. I can probably... We'll wait until this is actually complete before we invite more workers in, but... And then, yeah, we're waiting for that now much faster furniture supply to go positive. There's maybe an argument we actually want to make more pottery. Do you wonder where people... Well, I think it was the sort of situation where we got multiple people who would do pottery. Question is, does anyone besides the Dondorians do pottery really well? Because I know the Dondorians do. Yeah, the Dondorians have got a fulfillment of 50... Okay, no. Our Dondorians are our best potters. They're already competing for their workforce, but there is an argument to get more pottery going. Where do we have our potters? You're the potter. We have one potter. And apparently, yeah, we could probably do with another pottery. It would put us clay negative again, but I think we could work that. That'd be fine. Oh, and how's our exports looking? That's imports. So we're exporting tools, and tools, and that's it. So I do have to be a little bit careful. If we expand imports too much, the tools won't be enough. The tool export won't be enough. And the storage here looks pretty bad, but that's because we have a loading station. Oh, we have a full loading station. Interesting. Hey, no, you accept. You accept coal. Oh no, it's ore. The ore is backed up. The coal's not backed up. Gotta keep them separate. We could use a little bit more coal. Well, do we need more coal production, or do we just need... Nah, I just need to be patient. It's a shipping issue. Okay, so we got a little bit more furniture in, so let's finish... Now that we've expanded the furniture, let's finish expanding the stages. And we should probably see that that's already kicked into a pretty good on-access surveillance or service upgrade. Now with stages, so we've jumped from like 33 to 59%. We haven't even upgraded the last one yet. Because we've got good access, we've got good proximity, we've got good quality, it's just the upgrade status. So as we improve that, it'll go up. So basically per level, this is like 1 fulfillment. So we're going from 1 fulfillment to 2 fulfillment. Good thumbs up there. Okay, so that's deployed. Do we do the market upgrades or the barbers next? I think we'll do the barbers next. Because we got a reasonable desire for more migration. Yeah, this is going to take another 35 workers, so let's actually go up to 2050. Another 40 in. Which should be enough to that, and then we'll start building the barber system out. Oh, and it seems that the internet is out at the moment, so I am recording just for YouTube at the moment. So if you're watching YouTube, I hope you are enjoying. And if you're a viewer who would normally watch on Twitch, and if you're watching on YouTube because this bit is not up on Twitch, sorry. The internet has been a little finicky in the local area recently. In fact, it's migrated also into the phone network. There's a little bit of an issue with the phones recently. Landline phone. I tend not to use that. I tend to use my cell phone, but it affects my grandfather more than it does with me. Partially because he doesn't like carrying around his phone. Okay, so that's going to be an improvement in wood. I think we're still going to be wood negative because I always undersized it, apparently. Although that's... actually... Are we... Yeah, it looks like we're just negative. Oh, no, round it up after we moved in. Either way, it's much better to be neutral in wood, so then I'm going like, oh, I got a large construction project, let's chop down a forest so I have the lumber. Versus, oh, I need to remember every once in a while to go chop down forests so that the carpenters work. Carpenters are going, so yeah, let's start on the barbers. We'll turn the speed low for that. The city, I think, is stable enough that I can just let it play. But at the same time, every once in a while, there might be something that's not working, and we'd like to be able to diagnose that before it becomes a serious problem. So next thing is health, barber. Might put it down here, at least in this area I think we're thinking about here, right? So we do something that stretches that space. So we got booths and carpets in the barber. Are the carpets traversable? Looks like the carpets are traversable. Okay, so that'll work. 80 or 18 people. It says it services enough for 227. That may mean this is just overkill. But let's get this one built, and then we'll determine if that's actually overkill. And I think we want some roads here. We'll do dirt roads to save on the road cost for the moment. Okay, so that was 200-something services. So we can check how much of the fulfillment. So the fulfillment desire here is 100%, so everyone's going to want it. The next question then is, what is the service need? So 1 in 10 for the Dondorians. So they're going to want it every, like, 10 days. So 200 services might actually be enough to service 2,000 Dondorians. We're not going to have the coverage. We're going to have to build more because we don't have the coverage. But that does mean as we build up around it, we'll be fine. If that's the correct number there. The Amivians need the same rate. Tonians are probably going to be the same rate as well. Yeah. And I would be surprised that humans are any different. Yeah. Everyone wants to go to the barbers like one day in 10. So that's probably actually way overkill. Let's build a slightly smaller one then. It's not just copy and paste. No, I think that one's too big. Although that one's going to be like in the middle of everywhere. So that one is probably one we want to be overbuilt on. This one up here is probably not. Put the barber on the end of the noble houses here. Okay, I'm gonna make the booth one size smaller. Like so. Because otherwise we're gonna have quality problems. There we go. And yeah, that should be fine from a cost perspective. Oh, insulation's too low, so I need to cut a door out. We're gonna cut one door out. I'll cut the other door out as well. I'll do single doors and double doors. And then we're not on perfect foundation, but that'll be fine. This is saying it's gonna treat 100 people, so assuming they need service-wise to come in, although 8 simultaneously. Ah, okay, so it's already multiplied in theory. By the service needs. So the 200 is not 2,000, it's actually 2,000. Where this is saying 100, 101. So we may need more up here. We'll build that one for the moment. Based on that one, yeah, we're gonna copy paste the big one down here. That one's like pretty nice for its shape. Question is, where can I shove it? Up in the dense area up here. Or even worse, shoving it up in this area. I don't know. Okay, I don't think that would be too bad. Shove it up there. Then... end on the bottom there. Put the barber between the housing and work site here. That'll be good. Hello, Team RB. Having stream issues, so the stream reset like twice. Things okay? Yeah, the internet's being a bit bad around here. So the internet went and came, and there's other things going on. I think with the phone as well. Yeah, everything's fine with the computer and the game. It's internet problems. It's the reality sometimes with Twitch, in a place with a bad internet. Barbers down, give them a little bit of time to kick in, see how well they kicked in, and then we'll probably, well, even once before we get them down, kicked in, we'll probably start upgrading the markets, which is going to compete a little bit for the furniture. Both buildings require furniture. That one coming in. We got the one coming... Well, this one's actually already done. So we're going to see people are lining up to be barbered. And up here we're getting Amivians as well. So we're going to start getting leather coming in. I suppose... Do I have more warehouse space here? I do. We'll put a couple things of leather in this one. This is the housing district we're hoping the Amivians are living in, so having some leather nearby would not be terrible. Leather storage nearby won't be terrible. So I meant to click on the warehouse, not the guy running through the warehouse. Got more storage up on the island there. We do have fisheries around here, so there may be some Amivians here. We'll put one thing of leather storage, just in case there are. So the barber has someplace to drop, although that barber isn't done yet. That was when we just put leather in. Most of my warehouses are pretty full. I highly doubt there is Amivians in the mountain. Although there might be... Oh, this is pretty far away from the barber, so we're not going to bother there at the moment. Yeah, you can see... We've only had the barbers going for a little while, and we're already gaining level. And yeah, we're already heavily worked here. Given enough time, this should begin to fill out, catch up, just a little bit. Got how many rooms? One here. I think it was at least 5. Right, the one in the mountain's not cleared yet. 6. So there and there. No, 5. I might want a 6th one somewhere, someone in here. Once we get them all built, we can see their catchment area. So that's... For the housing up there, that's fine. It doesn't technically get out to the work sites, but the people gotta come in from the work sites. This one's catching the area. Yeah, I probably want another one over in this area. Over in the middle area here. It's a little bit annoying that we have that area filled with pastures, but the eastern bit of the houses here and the western bit of the houses here aren't well covered. And you just finished. Okay, so we probably want another one over here as we expand more on this side for more support housing for the mining. Oh, and apparently I'm a large amount of workers short. Although I suppose these aren't small worker sites, right? They're 8, 18. Yeah, I should probably like another 100 workers in. And yeah, those are mostly built, so I'm gonna start going around improving the marketplaces. I think that's as far as we can go with the current furniture. Yeah. Although furniture, because we just did a furniture expansion, should be expanding relatively quickly. Does this cost pottery? It does. Okay, so I need to do a pottery expansion as well. I'm just going to go ahead and say we need another one of you. Plop you right next to the old one. We may need to bring in more workers to work it, but... yeah, they would appreciate a little bit more. We had some wrongful deaths. Oh, one thing I didn't change that I noticed right before the stream when I was checking some stuff. Our Dondorians, as a government preference, would like us to be exiling people. They would like 25% of the 25% of the criminals to be exiled. So I should really come in here and turn up exiling to 25%. It's not as great as deterrence, but that's what they want. Okay, we're gonna need more people in that build, but that is what it is. Okay, bouncing around there. We got the furniture for you. And we're now short on the pottery. Okay, so we just need that pottery now. Oh, and that barber isn't even done. I think the rest are... The rest are also struggling with the number of services we were expecting them to complete. And barbers only have one upgrade level. So yeah, this is going to be purely driven by proximity and access. Oh, we can see the fiber is coming in. So there's an argument for doing more weavers, now that we need fiber a lot less. Although the one problem with barbers is barbers don't give us an estimation on how much we're getting from them. Although I suppose one workaround to that is we could set up export and import, where if the amount goes too high, we start exporting. And then import, so if we overestimate our capacity to make, we can import more. Waiting for the potter to be built, so we've got more pottery. And then yeah, I think we've got 4 of the 5 barbers. So from a catchment area, we can see where we're lacking. We're lacking in here, which is almost 120 jobs. We're lacking coverage in here, which is going to be in here. I suppose I could put on the alluvium here, or actually might fit right in that corridor right there, next to the guardhouse. Let's do a copy. How well do you fit in there? Make the alleyway a bit tight. Or next to the fighting pit, but I think that's fine. I can always just pass right through the barber as well, so I think that'll work. Okay, and our cut stone is looking pretty good. So let's do a little bit more paving of the roads. Not bricked, but highway. Here we go. Anyway, we have finished the potter, so let's bring in... That's almost another 50 people by itself, so we want like almost 100 more people in. Oh, what is... The environment bonus here on Thithlin ore is per capita times 2. So we're actually looking at wanting to stockpile about 6,000 of that up. Let's adjust the stockpiles accordingly. Now employ over 50 in our potteries, good. This one is something we may want to export. It's also something our people want to stockpile. So there's a little bit of a balancing act there of we want it so that we can have it for export, but we also want it so we can stockpile it. Yeah, we very happily spent 1,000 cut stone just building more road. Something is happening in faraway Garmithi hives. The presence of things like ore and meat are on the rise. A sure sign they're having some difficulties below. Nothing definite is known by the gnawing Garmithi. It is likely either an epidemic or a case of digging too deep. Okay. Finish up raiding those marketplaces. So we can do that one. We need to save up till like 200 more, and we can do the last one. We did that stage, which was a nice easy upgrade. Working on markets. Oh, and this is the last level markets. We've nearly maxed out this bonus on markets, at least. I think afterwards we'll work on building up the hospitals. They want 40 people working in hospitals. Which will provide many, 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 many more beds than we really need. Oh, and we were... How's the coverage looking with that barber in? Okay, we're still behind on the service desires. The coverage is definitely looking better. We still have that coverage hole up here, which is going to be me having to put in the mountain, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to have to put it in the mountain here somewhere. Might be able to fit there. Yeah, I'm going to put it there. I'm looking at this housing block and I'm seeing no food stall, so we're going to get the food stall down here. No, that'll be fine. Overlapping the road's not going to be too bad there. And then we probably want some of the services in the area. Copy paste to view. Going up like so. Just improve the services of people wandering down the road. Well, I say wandering, that have to travel down the road for various reasons. Okay. Okay, should have enough of that last market. I happened to click on the right market. Okay. And yeah, so now all the markets are upgraded. And I think we got the food stalls upgraded. Oh, no, there's a couple in here that aren't. Probably ones I've copy and pasted, or planned and then built after going through with the upgrades. Here we go. Yeah, we should see services improving. Oh, our people are really unhappy about people dying from wrongful deaths. Accidents, murders, brawls. That's maybe arguing for better law enforcement. Well, I want to do better law enforcement. I kind of am on board with that. When you want to get a crafting, clothier. Oh, hello, Twat. With a bunch of emojis. I think that's an octopus head with a bunch of octopus tentacles. Okay, get a tailor going. Saying clothier, but clothier's turn came. Turn the speed down here. Gotta decide where we want it. Actually, I probably want it up over here. We'll put it here. This doesn't necessarily need to be super big, because this is just going to be a leather armor maker. Yeah, that size will work. And then what we can do is we've already got some guard posts out and about. From looting from battles, we've actually captured some leather armor. So we're going to use the existing leather armor to upgrade all the guard posts. Okay, the last one's going to have to wait a little bit for the cutstone to catch up. There we go. That gives us a better idea what the coverage is, and that's actually telling us we just need more guard posts. I'm short on guard posts. This inadequate guard post storage down here, and all that will help with reducing brawls. And then we can scale our leather armor production to support that. It's probably the best way to think about it. Yeah, probably want one over by that janitor. In fact, I'm going to just put it right next to the janitor like so. I'm going to want one down here. Oh, we'll put it next to the graveyard. Across the street from the graveyard. Need one in here. Don't have space in the town center area. Although, I don't think that would be too bad. That would probably be fine if I shove it in this hole. Yeah, let's shove it in that hole. I think we need more services anyway. Just putting it north of the tavern is fine. What we're trying to do is we're trying to improve the coverage of the guard posts. We want another one down there. And I guess we need one over there, although that's going to be putting the mountain at that point. Can't put it so out on the coast that it's in the water. I don't really have more space on the island, sadly, because we've dedicated so much to the mine and such. At that point, we're actually, that's where the other one is, right? So it needs to, yeah, it doesn't need to be right in the middle of the island. We want the side to go over the island. Yeah, we can see our Dondorians' happiness is significantly improving. I think just because of Runkle death wearing off. And I think more law and order will help with preventing murder, so always a good thing to prevent murder. How far does that janitor go? Not much farther along. Oh, I haven't put a bridge in here. I should probably put a bridge in here. Nope. Don't want it to be made out of the highway right now. So we'll work. That way fishermen get out to that area. We'll probably actually end up flooding a bunch of this to make more fishery. Anyway, we did set that to go up to 2,250, so we got there. That's good to see. Might want to bring a little bit more in because of odd jobbers starting to stack up. Well, shortage of odd jobbers starting to stack up. Do a quick once over, make sure we got no housing shortages. Now we do up in the mining area. So we're definitely looking at having more housing up here. Okay. Then we want to dig into the mountain. Approximately at least that depth. Want a road 5 wide. Clean up the road 5 wide. And then we'll need a doorway there, doorway there, doorway there, doorway there, doorway there, doorway there, and then we can put a bunch of housing in there. Am I thinking about that over here? Maybe. I plan on doing the same thing. In which case we're looking to... Nope. I want to copy that one, not to paste it. Can I copy an area that's already underground? That would probably work best. I don't think it copy-pastes the... Oh, I don't have housing districts on it, or market districts on those. I should fix that. I don't think it copy-pastes the benches right, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it doesn't copy-paste the benches right. But better than nothing. There we go. Once again, that'll be another housing block. Oh, that was the right spot. Yeah, okay. Okay, another housing block over there. That'll be good. In the meantime, actually, I'll double... Before I put more food stalls in. Food stalls over here are good. Yeah, they're good over here. We'll need those later. I overbuilt the food stalls, to be fair. We'll need them there. Need more over here when we're going to be feeding them more, is probably the best way to describe it. We're only giving 1 food serving right now, so I... In comparison to the last run where we were giving them like 2, we're feeding them less and can get away with it. 1 direct exposure. Yeah. With all the mining we got going on, I'm going to let another 50 Dondorians in if they want to come. If they want to come, being the operative word there. And then as we finish up a bunch of these improvements, we're going to be looking maybe to bring some humans in for more knowledge. So they've finished clearing that guard post location. They're in the middle of constructing it. We picked up 50 more knowledge, 50 more innovation, and more noble promotions. We're getting over 3k population. On that note, we finished the tailor. This tailor is currently using leather to make clothing. No, make leather armor out of it, please. Not that we wouldn't mind you necessarily making clothing, just that would want to be out of cloth. We got plenty of cloth. We got a shortage of leather, but we now make it from interacting with, or have the Amidians use the barbers, so we're not going to be reliant on here because it doesn't tell us how much we get from the barbers, but it does tell us if that building's going to produce enough leather armor to support the armor, or the guard posts. Yeah, the guard posts. And it's almost right. Although we did have some efficiency issues here. Workload, commute, hauling, okay. I'll help with that a little bit. I'm going to put a hauler down. Logistics, hauler. This person's job is going to be grabbing leather from warehouses other than the one across the street here. This isn't the only warehouse we have that's going to be holding leather. In fact, it's holding like half our leather. So this hauler's job is going to be pulling them from farther away. So, leather, pull. I think we had... It's the fishery one, so we have that one and that one. Well, it's the city one's near the fisheries. Right, so we don't have any in this one yet because, you know, this fishery is actually farther away from the barber than the one right next door. Show up a little bit with you, making more leather, and in fact it already 30 is. And yeah, more than enough leather armor made for all the guard post maintenance. And yeah, I think that law and order coverage, other than the fact that we don't have this one online, is much better. That should help law and order. Arrests, statues, torches, slightly reduced by exile, because exiling is not a particularly great punishment. Yeah, let's check up on our service needs as we come up to where we're going to put the end for this part. First of 4 parts tonight. We improved the speakers. Oh no, we didn't improve the speakers. We improved the stages. Stages have been improved. Looking pretty good. I think the next upgrade's pretty expensive. We can check on that. Next upgrade is... Oh, actually, we could do the next one if we had the tech for it. I think we're only left from the tech, right? So it's 100 more. Enough that I'm not going to prioritize doing the next. I think toilets are next. Yeah. Oh, had an accident. Was thinking about doing the hospitals. In fact, we probably will do the hospitals at the beginning of the next part. Yeah, we can pick another one up from the laboratories. We improve the marketplaces. They're looking pretty good. There were some food stalls that were missing that we improved. We hadn't intended to do them, but we did them as well. So stage, food stalls, markets, and we've added barbers. And actually, I think we're pretty... Now that we got pretty good coverage, we're looking much happier with the barbers. I think we're good with the barbers for the moment. So yeah, with that, we're going to go ahead and put the pause in here, put the part break in here. I think early next one, we're going to open up with improving the hospital system, which is just building more hospitals. We got 50 more knowledge, so we could spend that on improving another service, say the speakers. Yeah, I'm thinking of the speakers of laboratory next. So it's 60 for the gilded speed, so we have to bring more humans in for that, which wouldn't be that bad. Speakers are actually pretty expensive because we'd have to go through the last housing upgrade. So that'd be 100 in total. Although if we're bringing more workers in, bringing more humans in, we're probably going to bring in 100 humans, and they're going to make more than 100. So, yeah, fine speech would be doable. In fact, that's maybe making an argument that we could do both of those, right? So the speakers do the toilets. That'll be 1 fulfillment each. Other than more humans on making knowledge, no extra labor upkeep, other than a little bit more maintenance. I think it's actually more maintenance in goods, not more maintenance in maintenance. If that makes sense, I don't think it's more janitors. But yeah, so that'd be 150. I think we can get 100 or 160. I think we can get that pretty easy early next part because we're up to 54 already. We might try a little bit more poking around. So we picked up 50 innovation just to get good returns on the innovation. That's 10 for 7. That's not particularly great. That wouldn't actually be too bad for the Sithlin ore. Yeah, it's no good there. Well, actually, unless we're going to do something like refining. Although refining wouldn't be too bad. There's tailors, so that would help with the clothing. Clothing, carpenter's pottery. That wouldn't be too bad. Oh, and that wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, there's a couple different options here. This would actually improve exports, because this would improve tool making, which is a primary export. We'll think about that next time. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break here. I know Twitch already got a couple interruptions due to the internet fading in and out, but I will be back to record another 3 hours, and hopefully the internet will hold and work during all 3 of those hours, and we won't have any more resets, although who knows with the Twitch stream. Well, who knows with my internet connection or not. So until then, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and or stream, and bye for now.